Hello, everyone. This is Jen Mitchell from Solace Divorce Mediation. I am a family law attorney. I am a mediator and a life coach, and the creator of Solace, which is a new way to view and experience divorce. I see divorce as obviously a very difficult experience. I went through my own divorce. I know how emotionally difficult it is. But I also recognize that in times in our life that are very difficult, any time that has been hard, those are the greatest opportunities that we are given to learn more about ourselves, to heal, and to grow, and to become the people we are meant to be. So come out stronger than we went into the hard thing. So I'm going to share with you just some tips that I provide my clients here at Solace. At Solace, the heart of this practice is children. I do not want one additional child in this world to be negatively affected by divorce, because it's a choice that's made by both parents together and separately, and it's a choice that doesn't need to be made. And so my kids changed my whole career, and so the heart of Solace is kids. But the foundation of this practice is self-care and self-love. So I'm going to share with you some tips that I share with my clients to hopefully, I don't know, maybe inspire you to be nicer to yourself or treat yourself to some things that maybe you don't usually do. So the foundation of this whole principle of self-care and self-love is that it's kind of this, it's similar to the airplanes, right? You have to give to yourself first before you can give to anyone else. And I reference the airplane because anyone who's flown in an airplane knows that they always say, in the event of an emergency, put the oxygen on yourself first before you help anyone else. And I think that's a really powerful principle to hold on to. Take care of yourself. You cannot possibly serve anyone else to the level that you wish to serve them. And when I say serve them, it just means give love to them or connection to them, or maybe it's your job and you have to serve your clients. Whatever that may be, you can't do it to the level you want to do it if your own bucket is not full. And a way to fill your bucket is by incorporating the art of extreme self-care and self-love into your life. And I am just a huge fan of self-care and self-love. I have so many people in my life, including close family members, tell me that I'm incredibly selfish because of the amount of self-care I give myself and self-love. And it is what it is, right? I always answer in the same way. I don't think I'm selfish. I think that I need to fill my bucket before I fill anyone else's and help anyone else. And I have a lot of stuff going on, just like I'm sure everybody out there does too. I'm a mom, I'm a co-parent, I'm a business owner, I'm an athlete, I'm all of these different things. I have friends. So anyway, some tips that I want to provide to you, just the big picture overall kind of way of thinking about self-care and self-love, is always remember that we have 4 bodily systems that are working within our body at all times. We have the mental, the emotional, the physical, and the spiritual. So mental, thoughts that we're thinking, emotional, feelings that we're feeling, physical, obviously, physical self, that's the one that most people are pretty in tune with, knowing if it's in a good place or a bad place. And then spiritual, our connection to whatever you may call it, right? A higher power, something bigger than you are. Those 4 bodily systems at all time, they're always working within our bodily structure. And if one of them is off, it will cause problems in the other ones. And so this is why this is so important when you're going through a divorce or thinking about going through a divorce, because it is such a difficult emotional process that if that bodily system is strained, it will cause problems in the other systems. And so a lot of times when I was a litigation attorney for 9 years, right, in the family law court setting, what I would see is the tremendous amount of stress that my clients would be under, the mental stress, the emotional stress, the financial stress, all of those different stresses. The way that they looked when they started the case was very different from the way that they looked at the end. At the end, they looked haggard, they looked tired, they typically gained weight, they didn't feel good all the time. And so I'm just sharing this with you because they are all connected. So we have to be mindful of all 4 bodily systems and do things that are filling our buckets in all of those systems to make sure that we're good. So I'm going to share with you some tips that I give my clients. I give them every couple that uses Solace for their divorce. We solely practice mediation and incorporate life coaching. So we talk about these 4 systems. We talk about self-care and self-love and using this as an opportunity to learn, heal, and grow and come out stronger, like I said before, than you went into your divorce. And since the foundation is self-care and self-love, I have an I do have an employee handbook too, but for my clients, I have a client handbook that has just 14 different documents that help manage overall expectations. And so the document that I'm referring to in this live is the self-care and self-love document for my divorce clients. And it has 20 tips in it that you can utilize to practice self-care and self-love. And so I'm just going to share some of them with you in the hopes that if you don't practice self-care and self-love, that it inspires you to do so. Quick thing before I get into kind of some examples of things that you can do is switching the way you're looking at self-care and self-love, right? It's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's not selfish to love yourself. Those are good things. And in order to do those things, you have to prioritize those things. When I say that, what I mean is you need to organize your day around your self-care and self-love. So for example, I swim laps every morning, right? I also practice yoga and I do a guided meditation at least once a day. I will carve out times in my day to get my self-care done the way that I need to feel good. And it's always a priority. It never is I don't know if I'm going to be able to go today. I'm kind of busy. I have a lot of other stuff. No, it's a mandatory. This is what I'm doing. I need to do this to take care of myself. I know how I feel when I do it, and I feel amazing. So just to share that with you, it's if you can shift the way you're looking at the self-care and self-love. And I don't want to exclude any men out there, but moms, you girls need this. You women need some self-care and self-love. I used to be one of you if you're out there and you don't do this. I used to be a mom who didn't take care of myself, and I was always crabby and angry and stressed, and I felt like junk all the time. I drank way too much alcohol, was way too hungover, way too often. I just didn't feel good. I didn't take very good care of myself because I was being torn in all these places. I felt like I didn't have enough time. I had to do kid stuff. I had to do my business stuff. I had to do my married stuff. I had all these things to do. I didn't have time. Then I shifted the way I looked at it, put it first as a priority, and then you always have time because you schedule you first. So here are some tips that you can use. The first one, and one of my favorite ones, is gratitude. Practice an attitude of gratitude. And all of these things that I'm sharing, this is not just if you're going through a divorce. This is life too. COVID-19 that we're all going through as a collective consciousness. These are some of the things that I utilize to get through this time period in a very powerful fashion. Because remember, and Thursdays are COVID, so I'll talk about it tomorrow. But just so you know this, right? All of us, every single person in the whole entire world is experiencing COVID right now. We are all being affected by it. It's very uncomfortable for everybody. The only differentiating factor is the way that people are choosing to look at this experience and actually live this experience. And one powerful way to get through anything that is difficult, divorce, COVID, anything, or just enjoy your life, is self-care and self-love. So gratitude. Gratitude is the power emotion. When you're in a state of gratitude, you can't feel any other negative emotion. You just feel gratitude. And the way to do it, just focus on things that you already have in your life that you are so grateful for. And I know I talked about this a couple days ago, but I just love gratitude so much, and it's such a powerful powerful tool to have in your toolbox because it can snap you out of any bad mood. It can snap you out of any bad state. It helps remind us that if we focus on what we have or if we focus on what we want, those make us feel good. If we focus on what we don't have or what we don't want, those don't make us feel good. So the goal with self-care and self-love is feel good. That's why we're doing these things. We're practicing self-care and self-love to feel good, because when we feel good, that's when we're in a higher energy vibrational state and we can attract all of the wonderful beautifulness of this life experience to us, right? So practicing and the art of gratitude is a huge one. Second one, this is for my girl, Heather Kaminsky. Topavsky, I love you. And she is an expert in this field. I'm not, but I put it as number 2 just to try to make myself be better. Get more sleep. There's a book called The Sleep Revolution. Heather recommended it to me. I've read half of it. It kind of is scary to me. But get more sleep and you will feel better. Sleep just heals our bodies and it heals our brains. It gives us time to just kind of decompress, process everything, and it gives us the rest that we need. So that's very important. Another resource, tool, tip you can use, bath salts. Treat yourself to a really nice bath salt. And some bubble baths in there. I take a bath almost every day. During the weekends, I take more than one usually on a day. But bath salts are so good for you. The Epsom salts, it's magnesium, so most people are magnesium deficient, so that's a good thing. Bath salts also pull physical toxins from your body, so toxins that you just accumulate in day-to-day life just from walking around, they help pull those out. They also help pull emotional toxins, so when you're going through a hard time, like a divorce, like COVID, like anything else that is hard, it will help clear that emotional energy for you. Drink more water is another one. I think that's just a good one always to have. We're made up of whatever large percent of water in our bodies, and we all should be drinking more water. And a tip that I heard, I don't know where, but I wish I could give it anyway, the tip that I heard is whatever your body weight is, divide it by 2, and that's how many ounces of water you should be drinking every day. Next one, exercise. Get your bodies moving. I hear so much narrative about exercise and looking at it in a bad way. Oh, I have to go to the gym. Oh, I hate working out. I hate exercising. I have no idea how that started becoming part of our narrative as human beings. Exercise feels good. It feels good to move your body. It feels good to just kind of get things flowing, moving. And you physically will look amazing, which is great too, because you're going to feel good about that, right? So exercise is something that I feel everyone knows is good for you, but I feel that so many people just think of it as this negative, hard thing to do. And I encourage you to change the way you're looking at exercise. If that's where you land, if you fall into that group of people that are like, oh God, I have to go exercise today. I have to go to the gym. It's going to be so awful. If that's you, I encourage you to just change the way you're looking at exercise. I mean, life is life, right? And we always have choices at every moment in our life. You can choose, just like right now, this moment, to look at exercise differently than that. You can choose to look at it, for example, the way that I look at exercise. I am so excited to get in that pool and swim a mile and start my day that way because I know I'm going to feel so good. I'm going to drink a ton of water. I'm going to take a wonderful shower in the gym. I'm going to get ready in their beautiful big mirrors and have everything nice and clean. And then I'm going to go into my office and I'm going to have a really powerful start to my day at 6 in the morning, and then I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the day. And I know that I've done my part to keep my body healthy, especially during COVID. We need to be doing as much as we can to keep our immune system strong and keep our body healthy. All 4 of our bodily systems, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. But physical during COVID, it's good. And I'm loving how many more people I am seeing out and about, running, walking on bikes, all of those good things. And we're all outside breathing the fresh air. So anyway, Apparently, I can talk about exercise for a long time. But I do love exercise. I do encourage you to exercise. And if you don't like the way that you exercise now, the good news is there's so many other ways to exercise. So look into some of those different ways. Another one, and I'm not going to go through all 20 of these, but I'll just kind of take some highlights. Meditation. I don't know if you ever meditate. Guided meditations, I find, are amazing. Personally, I'm not great. I like the stay quiet and meditate and just focus on your breath ones. I just am not good at those. But what I do like, what I am good at, is being quiet and listening to a guided meditation. And so you can always Google. I love to do the guided meditations at night before I go to sleep, just because, I typically take my bath at night and I'm nice and calm and I feel clean and I'm in my comfy bed. And Heather, thank you for posting that. Heather posted the sleep revolution. She probably has about 50 other resources to post about sleep too. I love you. Anyway, meditation, I always do it at night when I'm in a peaceful energy state. And I just, put my earbuds in, or I just put it laying on the bed and I fall asleep to it. So I choose different meditations based on how I'm feeling. A really great one that I love is Bob Proctor, his abundance meditation. That is powerful. It's amazing. He says to do it every day for 30 days. I started doing it May 22nd during the shelter in place, and I've been doing it every day since, sometimes twice a day. I just love it. But anything that you're feeling, if you're feeling anxious, you can just Google guided meditation for anxiety. If your stomach hurts, guided meditation for stomach pain. Whatever it is that you want, guided meditation for overwhelm, guided meditation to start liking exercise, whatever it might be. Look it up and check it out. And then you're flooding your brain with this wonderful messaging. A lot of them have music attached to it too. And it just feels good. It's a nice way to calm yourself and love yourself and care for yourself. Let's see. Okay, another good one, and then I'll close out. But another good one, especially during COVID, right? So, and divorce, both. But specifically, I just want to talk about COVID. Sorry, there's like a lot of wind going on. COVID right now. So what COVID is doing for us as a collective is it's providing us with this extraordinary gift of pause. And it's removing all of the distractions that were once around us, right? You all know what I'm talking about. As a mom, I was constantly driving my kids places, organizing play dates, picking them up, dropping them off. I was basically like a chauffeur, and we had so many different things that we always had to do. Every day was something different. Rush, 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 rush. Every summer was crazy. You know what I mean? Every week I had something going on. Every weekend we were going somewhere. COVID has given us this pause where we don't have all that stuff going on anymore. And so because we don't have all that stuff going on anymore, we are all being forced to focus more on ourselves. We're being forced to focus on how we are living our lives, and we are being forced to focus on our close relationships with people, right? Because those fluffy people, the people who we're not super close with, those people we're not seeing right now. We're seeing like the close people, your pod, right? And because all of the distractions are gone, it's making us realize different things about different relationships, even the relationship with yourself. So what this self-care, self-love tip is eliminate all of the negative people in your life. And when I say that, I don't mean like, the people are like, oh, I hate this, right? Well, those are negative people. I don't like people like that in my life, but I'm not saying that. I'm saying for you personally. And this is what all of this self-care and self-love, what all of this is about is you individually as your unique, beautiful, perfect self, figuring out what you need to do in your life to help you feel good, right? That's all this is. So when I'm sharing these tips, I'm not saying you need to do this, you need to do that. I have no idea what you need. And it's your job to figure out if you want, right? And the whole goal of this is if you take really good care of yourself and love yourself, you're going to feel good. And I love feeling good. So this is my jam, self-care and self-love. I'm almost a guru, right? There's many people I'm going to learn from that are at higher levels. But for where I'm at right now, I love it, and I know exactly what I need to make me feel good. When I say remove negative people from your life, what I'm sharing with you is that you are your own guide to feeling good, to living a blissful life, to having everything that you've ever wanted in your own life. You are your guide. And the way that you are guided is through your emotions. And so it's through how your body feels. And again, that's how it's all connected, right? Our thoughts, the mental self, creates our emotions, how we feel, and our emotions make us physically feel a certain way. So they're all connected. And then spirituality is connected as well, right? The connection to the divine, God, universe, higher power, whatever it is you call it, right? But that's an example of how these three are connected. The mental to the emotional to the physical. Start thinking about how you feel, how your physical body feels, and how your emotional self feels, and maybe even the thoughts that you're thinking when you are with specific people. If they make you feel good, if you feel happy and light and free and full of love, that's good. You want to keep those people in your life. If you feel drained of energy, those people are psychic vampires. They're sucking all your energy from you because they're not in a very high energy state. Get rid of them, right? Anyone who makes you feel bad about yourself, you don't need to have them in your life. You can if you want, but I'm just sharing with you, you don't need to. And when I'm saying you don't need to have them in your life, this applies to everyone in your life. Family members are included in this, and this is a really hard concept for some people to fully grasp because they think, oh my gosh, they're my sister, they're my brother, they're my mom, they're my dad, I have to talk to them. You don't have to do anything. If they're not serving you, if they're not making you feel good, if they're not elevating and enhancing your life experience, you don't have to include them in your inner circle. They can just then kind of move out to the fluffy circle people. I'm not saying be mean to them. I'm not saying totally write them off. I'm just saying don't let them into your inner circle where they can affect your energy. And that is what one of the many gifts, right, that COVID is giving us. And when I say one of the many gifts, I don't mean to be disrespectful to anyone who has lost someone due to COVID. I am just choosing to look at COVID as an opportunity to learn, heal, and grow, because it is a very, very difficult time and your words have power. So last tip, sorry, not the last one was, but it just came up, is your self-talk. That is self-care too and self-love. What are you saying to yourself every single day? You are saying more to yourself than any other person in this world is ever going to say to you. So start honing in on what are those thoughts that you're saying to yourself? You know what I mean? Real quick example. Women, men, anyone who wants to lose weight, stop thinking about how you need to lose weight. That's not how you're going to lose weight. That's how you're going to keep the weight on or get more weight on, because that's all you're telling yourself. I hate this weight. I hate being overweight. I just want to lose this weight. Stop giving the weight energy. Don't focus on that. Do a Google search with your height and your gender and whatever you wanted, right? So I've lost 50 pounds in the past 2 years. And this is, I stopped drinking alcohol. That was a big one. And stopped having quesadillas at 2 a.m. after drinking alcohol. That was a big one. But other than beyond that, the way that I did it is I did a Google search. I'm 5'6.5". I put 5'6.5" athletic body because I was a swimmer for years, competitive swimmer, and now I'm back to being a swimmer. I'm back to being my athletic self. So I wanted to put that in there because that's how I wanted my body to look. And I printed out the images of what these women look like. I cut off their heads, put a picture of my face. So every day I look at that. That's a self-care and self-love. Focusing on what you want. Controlling the thoughts that you are thinking to best serve your life experience. Fully understanding that the thoughts that we think create the emotions that we feel, which then makes our physical bodies feel a certain way. So, I hope you are going to take some of these self-care and self-love tips. If you have any self-care and self-love things that you do for yourself that you'd like to share, please put in the comment section, comments below, and then people can look at them. And hopefully all, together we're all going to work as a collective of spreading more love and light and more resources and tools to help people get through COVID in a powerful manner and also get through divorce. I have a really exciting announcement, but I can't do it yet because it's not ready, but it's very exciting. So I will share with that when the time is done or when the time is ready. But yeah, just focus on being good to yourself, on loving yourself. You are beautiful. You are perfect just the way that you are. And be the change that you wish to see in this world. Have a wonderful day. Mwah!